welcome to People in Power. I'm Barbara Serra. On today's program, is there hope among Haiti's ruins?
L'État n'a pas de capacité pour répondre à ça. L'État faible.
In the week since Haiti was struck by a massive earthquake on January 12th, scenes from the aftermath of the catastrophe have been playing out on TV screens around the world. Not surprisingly, much attention has been focused on the effectiveness of the aid response, the dramatic rescue of some survivors, and the tragedy of a mounting death toll which may eventually be over 200,000. But inevitably, many have also begun asking whether the country can ever recover from such a blow. Although, with UN help, Haiti's political and economic circumstances had been improving recently, it was still the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, scarred by its tortured past and long years of international indifference. So what will happen when the TV lights go off and the hospital ships sail away? And what part will Haiti's shattered government and traumatized people actually play in rebuilding their devastated country? We sent Juliana Ruhfus to find out. Some of the images in her report are disturbing.
4 days after an earthquake hit Port-au-Prince, the enormity of the destruction is shocking. 70% of all buildings are destroyed, up to 200,000 dead, and up to 2 million left homeless. As rescue teams begin to arrive, the question arises whose task it will be to rebuild the country and what part Haitians themselves will play. Their authorities have been devastated. 15 out of 17 high offices of state reduced to rubble. The Ministry of Health, next door, the Interior Ministry. Across the square, the Supreme Court. Its confidential papers strewn amongst the wreckage. Parliament, the leader of Senate trapped under the building, 2 senators dead. And most iconic of all, the presidential palace.
People are saying there's been so much damage, not just to Port-au-Prince, but also to the government, that it is as if the state has been decapitated.
Out in the streets, some Haitians have worked around the clock.
So are you a civil society group or are you working with the government?
Over the 5 days since the earthquake, 70,000 bodies have been collected from the streets. The men from the Public Works Department say they've been receiving orders since the night the earthquake struck. A crowd gathers and there's a difference of opinion about what the state can do.
L'État n'a pas de capacité pour répondre à ça. L'État faible.
Haitians have always been distrustful of those in power and learned to rely on themselves. So what's left of the government, its business sector, and its people to build a new Haiti? With international countries lining up to assist, who will shape the future state?
This is one of Port-au-Prince police headquarters, and it's now the de facto seat of the government, of the state that remains.
Barely guarded, the compound is swarming with visitors. Ministers are exchanging news. Many of them are still in shock. But Health Minister Alex Larson is emphatic that the government's reaction to the disaster has been swift.
Nous nous sommes mis à débarrasser la ville des cadavres assez rapidement. Et nous avons commencé aussi rapidement la désinfection des lieux pour prévenir et éviter les épidémies.
Virtually all ministers have been affected by the earthquake.
Pour moi, j'ai cru à la fin du monde. La fin du monde. J'étais à l'intérieur de la maison. Ma voiture a fait un bond de 3 mètres. Un bond de 3 mètres. Sérieux, hein? Donc il y a eu quand même, et moi je trouve ça normal, une petite période de flottement. Mais automatiquement, cette petite période de flottement passée, nous avons pris les choses en main.
Interior Minister Bien-Aimé also insists that the government is still functioning.
Je ne suis pas d'accord pour dire que l'État haïtien a été décapité. D'abord, le président de la République a pris directement la direction des affaires. Et un fait important à signaler, c'est qu'au niveau des mairies, et puisque au début il était difficile d'établir les comptes avec toutes les mairies, il y a maintenant un grand effort de fait pour coordonner l'action avec les mairies. Maintenant, ce sont les mairies qui interviennent dans l'évaluation des besoins, aussi bien que dans la distribution de l'aide. Et donc maintenant, je pense que l'ensemble de l'architecture gouvernementale est au travail.
But when we go out with a mayor to collect aid from one of the government storage depots, things don't quite go according to plan.
Monsieur, s'il vous plaît. Monsieur, s'il vous plaît.
What he's saying, what they're trying to do, he says they're trying to get food to the people in Carrefour.
That's what I'm saying. Listen to this. This paper was given to me by the minister. So I'm not here to get food for myself. I'm here to get food.
The crowd suspects that officials are taking the food for their own use.
They can organize themselves so they would let us in. I have this. So I could get inside and get my food. They kick the people out, beating people outside. We can't do that. Let the fucking USA come here and taking care of these things here.
The aid is not delivered.
USA! USA! USA!
The protesters' suspicions are not unfounded. In 2006, Haiti came third from bottom on the Transparency International Corruption Index. But recently, under the government of President René Préval, Haiti's record has improved. His wife, the First Lady, says there are other reasons why protesters are calling for the USA.
They know the United States came with a lot of supply, with manpower, so since they are in despair to have some relief, there is a lot of frustration. Frustration can manifest itself many ways. That's all I can tell you.
You're worried about security.
Right now, no. However, if the relief, the food, the water, the medical supply does not reach fast enough the population which is in despair, I'm afraid that might open the door to violence.
And in the downtown area, we do see groups of people grabbing goods. The police, though, are after more serious booty. They're looking for guns looted from ruined police stations. It's an indication of just how difficult security may become. Businessmen are securing their belongings.
Are you worried about the insecurity that's coming now in the wake of the earthquake in the business district?
Bon, sécurité en ville là pas possible parce que prison crasée, tout volé dans la rue. C'est que bon tout le monde depuis passé pour 6 heures du soir tout le monde tire la caille. C'est que y a volé, y a pillé, bon la police a tiré monde, il vraiment pas beaucoup là. Vinn pi mal. Tout volé dans la rue.
It's the destroyed Port-au-Prince Penitentiary which has become the single biggest security concern. Police Chief Mario Andresol is facing tough questions about the escape of the inmates.
So you have 2,000 policemen working at the moment, do you?
Near to.
Out of how many? Out of the total of the force?
4,500.
Yeah, for the city?
Yes,
For the city.
only for the city.
Yeah. And you think there are 4,000 or 5,000 criminals who escaped? What's the figure you've got?
4,000.
4,000?
Yes. What else?
Security situation is breaking down. You guys worked so hard to have security improve. Do you feel that right now it's deteriorating with this disaster?
I'm not too optimistic, but I think we will have to work on it.
What do you mean you're not too optimistic? What are you not too optimistic about?
Let me tell you something. The situation today, you know, it is new for us. We were not trained for. You see what I mean? That's why we need some help. So the problem is today, we were in control before the earthquake. Now we have 4,000 people in the street, bad guys in the street that we have to arrest, and at the same time we need to protect people, to secure the population. You see what I'm saying? So that could be very difficult. It's understandable.
Downtown, the central prison lies eerily abandoned.
Might well be the prison keys.
We find a young man picking up leftover items. He confesses to being one of the 4,000 inmates who escaped during the earthquake and claims that many of them were simply petty thieves held without trial on minor misdemeanors.
Ba obligé de dire mon peur parce que gen pile prisonnier dehors. Non. La majorité nan même tout gen fait plus loin que possible. Ça peur pour eux même personnellement gen évacuer des villes là. Je suis après événement ça d'ailleurs c'est mon boto parce que ma aucun côté mal encore dans ville là. C'est
In spite of widespread negative media coverage, overall security in Port-au-Prince has remained more stable than expected. Partly, this is due to outside help. There are 2,000 United Nations police officers and 7,000 UN troops. And even though virtually invisible on the streets, 10,000 US Army personnel have arrived since the quake. However, in the absence of a Haitian army, and with a decimated police now dwarfed by foreigners, memories of 2 previous US interventions resurface, together with fears that outside forces are taking Haiti over once more. For President René Préval, this is a sensitive point.
Who's in charge of Haiti at the moment?
Le président de ce pays, si je me rappelle bien, s'appelle René Préval. Et il est devant vous.
On vous a reproché pendant 6 jours d'être silencieux.
Quand votre président sort, il a un staff qui travaille pour lui. Moi, quand je sors, vu l'état le choc qu'on a reçu, je n'ai pas de staff. Ce qui est important, ce n'est pas d'aller pleurer devant les malades. Ce qui est important, c'est d'aller travailler pour apporter de l'aide aux malades. Je suis déjà en retard, je n'aime pas être en retard.
Dernière question, monsieur.
Je vous embrasse. À une réunion de coordination, monsieur. Les tours en ville, ça viendra après. Je sais que ce sont des choses ingrates, on ne me voit pas, mais je travaille et je travaille beaucoup.
But besides the president, other powerful players in Haiti are vying to become partners in the international reconstruction effort. Fritz Moves belongs to one of the 6 families which run Haiti's economy, and here he is meeting with the US military.
I will give him my phone number. Excellent. I can be here in 5 minutes anytime, day or night.
He's offering the Navy use of the Moves family private pier.
250 meters, 800 meters.
And Moves has also offered land in the family's 2.5 million square foot industrial park for use as a helicopter landing space to transport wounded people to the USS Comfort hospital ship. Moves says it's the private sector that's best equipped to rebuild the country.
Politicians don't have to deliver in countries like mine, like private sector. Even the NGOs don't have to make a profit and show. They all they have to do is distribute the food. But private sector, private entrepreneur, they have to fight the politician, fight the red tape, fight the corruption of justice, maneuver their business and survive by making some profit.
As the morning passes, more and more US commanders arrive to discuss the use of Moves facilities.
there's a suspicion that amidst all this crisis, it's the same people that are getting rich, and that some people use this as an opportunity to make even more money.
What we need to do is not to punish the rich because they're rich, is to educate the poor to have the means to become rich.
The question of what should become of Haiti's poor, both now and in the future, is already being much debated. Previous Haitian governments have invested little outside the capital, where more than half the population lives on $1 a day. For decades, Haitians have crowded into Port-au-Prince and built feeble homes on treacherous soil. Now, made homeless by the earthquake, they live in camps across the city. Hygiene, water supply and security have become a major concern, and many are desperate to return home. The government is responding by organizing free bus transport.
There was a government announcement yesterday saying they're going to take more people back into the countryside with free buses, and the radio is now reporting that this morning, since 5 o'clock, people have been queuing up and all the bus stations are completely overcrowded.
We drive to Carrefour, site of one of the bus stations announced by the government.
How long have you been waiting here? What time did you come here this morning?
Oh, since it is morning about 6.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, we were there, we are waiting for, but they are not coming.
Orbé Rigard, a humanitarian science student, has come here in an effort to rejoin his parents, but he's anxious that in his hometown there will be no food either.
When many men who want to go outside, they will not stay. They will come back, you know. But our government has to profit of this occasion to make job, you know, outside, to make electricity, other things, you know, just to help to the men who live there to stay outside, you know. Otherwise, I think they will come back and that will be worse.
As buses arrive, it's a scramble to get on.
Okay, come on.
In the end, there was no bus going in Orbé's direction, and he takes us back home. Since the earthquake, he's been sleeping in a parking lot.
You're sleeping in the bus?
I'm sleeping there.
There.
Yeah. I'm sleeping there. There was somebody sleeping inside.
How many people are sleeping here at night?
Oh, I can't go on that. About 50 persons.
50?
50 persons.
Wow, that's a lot.
Okay, yeah, we are. They try to protect me. I try to protect them, and together, you know. We are in a special situation.
In the wake of the earthquake, Haiti has found a new solidarity. Orbé wants to show us a nearby camp. For the past 9 days, no government official has come to see what's needed. Everywhere we go, people are asking for help.
I am hungry.
I know. Everybody here is hungry.
Yes.
A little girl is looking for a friend. Her mother died in the earthquake.
Okay, they want to divide water.
The first water aid has just arrived, delivered not by the government, but by a church group.
She was very frustrated.
I want to know what it is that keeps Haitians going against all odds.
We are in the pain now. We have a great pain. But we say we have to resist. We have to stay. We have to stay strong, you know, because we have a hope. Hope then tomorrow our life will be changed.
Construction is underway at the Public Works Department that's been responsible for clearing Port-au-Prince's streets. And some officials here are already thinking about what tomorrow could hold. In a tent, Director Jude Celestine is in an emergency meeting. His workers have told us he's been calm and far-sighted since the very night of the quake.
Do you think it is good for the future of Haiti if it is less centralized with more people in the rural areas?
C'était l'un des programmes du gouvernement, c'est le fameux décentralisation. C'est le grand mot qui court les principes politiques. C'est la décentralisation de Port-au-Prince, la décentralisation d'Haïti. Enlever le plus que possible de choses sur Port-au-Prince et rendre les communes beaucoup plus autonomes à travers la République. C'était ça au départ.
And you think this will happen now?
This must happen. Ça doit se faire.
And somehow the devastation could also hold an opportunity for Port-au-Prince.
C'est l'occasion de reconstruire Port-au-Prince, de le reconstruire correctement. C'est pas parce qu'il y a quand même des problèmes au niveau des constructions. Donc maintenant, c'est la possibilité de reconstruire Port-au-Prince comme il faut qu'une ville soit construite.
We're about to leave when the health minister arrives.
C'est ici pour une réunion?
Non. J'ai besoin des services de CNE pour aplanir le terrain pour mettre un hôpital. D'accord?
The minister has come in person to request Public Works to put their bulldozer to use on a site he has identified in the center of town.
How many patients can you put up there when it's finished? How big will it be?
1500. On va essayer de faire. Il y a beaucoup de travail, mais on travaille. D'accord? Vous voyez que l'État existe. Hein?
Non, on voit ça maintenant, c'est pour ça qu'on est...
What we've seen are individuals committed to making the state work. When we go for a final visit to the government compound, President René Préval makes an impromptu appearance at a press conference.
Interrompre pour notre conférence de presse avec le chancelier Troncoso.
Sans problème.
He introduces a representative from the Dominican Republic who has pledged assistance.
Nous commençons à voir aide en alimentation, en médecins, en gestes international.
But out on the street, protesters are unconvinced. They say they are not seeing the aid the government is receiving.
Whilst Préval has just spoken to the press over there, there's a crowd gathering outside, shouting, "Down with Préval, down with Préval."
It's a reminder of the challenges this weakened government faces after years of corruption and political turmoil. In camps and amidst the rubble of their former homes, many Haitians are calling upon Jesus. But as one of the largest relief operations in history continues, it is upon Haiti's government, the business community, and above all, its people, that responsibility for rebuilding the country will fall.
Well, that's it for this edition of People and Power. If you'd like to comment on our report or any other matter, we'd love to hear from you. Do get in touch on aljazeera.net/English. Until next time, goodbye.